Hello, everyone, and welcome to UDS Films here on the YouTube. We are going to be talking about Futurama Alien Species today because the new series is either out, coming out soon, or way in the rearview mirror, depending on what time you're finding this. But we love Futurama, and so we want to talk about all of the different species, rank them from the best, the worst, the middle, and just have a good time doing it. My name is Tom. I am joined by Dobby. Say hello, Dobby.
Hello there, Tom.
Hello, Dobby. It's going to be a good time. We like all things Matt Groening. I would say that Futurama is, of all three of the big Matt Groening properties, probably the most underrated.
Well, I mean, I guess that really depends on Disenchanted fans, doesn't it? Disenchantment.
Whatever it is.
I've only ever seen the first season. I meant to get back to it, never did. I mean, I think Futurama deserves way more love than it gets, but I don't necessarily say it's underrated.
It's the one that's probably got the most ardent cult following out of the three, I would say.
I'd give you that.
I think you get a lot more casual Simpsons fans than Futurama fans, put it that way. I think if you're a fan of Futurama, you really like Futurama. So I think that's something to be said for that. I think, it's always to be a cult classic than, a mainstream loser. But yeah, we all like Futurama. If you've clicked on this video, you probably like Futurama. If you want to know more about other things Matt Groening, then go to our website, upsidedownshark.com. We have a whole podcast about The Simpsons called Simpsons Showdown. So we give them all a bit of love, except Disenchantment, because it's not very good.
I thought it was, what I saw was all right. I blasted it in one day.
I didn't get on with it. But we're not going to talk about that. We're going to talk about Futurama because we all like Futurama. So it's the same usual tier list rules that apply. It's all the way from S to D, S being the best, D being pretty crap, and somewhere in between we'll have just okay. We got a lot to get through, so I say we waste no more time unless you've got anything else you want to add, Dobby.
No.
Good. Then we get going. And we start with the Amazonians, who are a species of big women who like snoo and killing men. And for that, I think they are at least in the top three.
Mate, I would definitely agree. And I mean, I don't immediately want to be, lowering the tone in that way, Tom. But I mean, what straight man hasn't looked at the Amazonians and thought, maybe?
Yeah, I mean, maybe might be an understatement. I think, yes.
We'd all like to try snoo. I think we'd all be willing to participate in death by snoo.
I mean, if there was a way to go, snoo is the way I would like to go.
Hey, they do. Is it basketball they play as well? They play some kind of ball, and I like it.
I've heard that they have good fundamentals, according to the great robot goddess. I can't remember what they call it, but
no, I can't even.
I know that definitely Zach Brannigan and Fry are big fans of the Amazonians. Kip, not so much, but. Yeah, I'm thinking a solid A already.
I'm thinking A as well.
It starts with A. Amazonian is in A. Now we move on to Morbo species. Now, this is one of those species which doesn't seem to have a canonical name. So we just name it after the most popular character of that species, which is Newscaster Morbo, who is the one that shouts doom for the most innocuous thing. I like Morbo. I think he's pretty funny. Is he a little bit more one-dimensional than the Amazonians? You tell me.
I don't know if you can say Morbo as a character is necessarily one-dimensional. I think we get a little bit of time with various facets of Morbo across the show. He hosts like lovely little talk shows as well as the news, which he's rather aggressive about. And he also just wants to destroy all humans in a way similar to our beloved Bender, of course. I can't remember where we meet the other members of Morbo species in a big way. Do you remember that?
No, the picture on there is them playing the what's the fancy instrument from Futurama? I'm letting my casual
holophone.
Holophone, that's it. It's almost giving me Cantina Band vibe, so maybe it was some parody of that. But I would say I like Morbo. His species as a whole, don't know enough about him. Maybe B.
I would agree. Morbo's great. His species, hey, maybe we're about to get more episodes talking about them, but for now I'd maybe go C even. Purely because all we know is one member of the species.
All right, I'm not going to fight it too hard because I don't care enough, so therefore I'm going to put Morbo species in C. Now we move on to a species which I frankly hate with a passion. That is the Grunka Lunkas. The little annoying orange things that help make Slurm. They definitely love a good sing-song, but Bender doesn't like their music, and I like Bender. So with that in mind, I don't like them.
I like their songs. I really like Grunka Lunka Dunka ingredient, isn't it? You must not ask about a secret ingredient, which I mean, it's great. It's a great line, but yeah, I guess other than the line, they are just a very shoddy pastiche of the Oompa Loompas. But that's kind of the point, to be fair. So, maybe. I mean, no, I don't. I was going to say D feels harsh, but I don't think it does really.
No, I was thinking if all the field so far, it's definitely an easy bottom. I think their best moment isn't even really down to them so much. It's when they go Grunka Lunga Dunga Dee Dunga, which and then immediately get cut off by Bender very angrily. Going, shut the hell up! Very good. I genuinely like that episode, but I think if there was ever a species of Futurama I'd want to punch, it's them. So there we go. They're in D. Now we move on to a surprisingly complicated species, which is the Neptunians, in that they have very weird and wide-ranging character traits. The picture that you see on screen now is of famous TV chef Elzar, a favorite of Bender, so immediately one up on the Grunka Lunkas. But yet we see them also as the diminutive, easy for me to say, workers in evil Robo Santa's factory on Neptune, where they're all pretty emaciated, miserable, kind of annoying. Like, isn't one of them like a cannibal or something like that? I can't really remember.
There's a whole lot to the Neptunians. I think they're very similar. You could even say analogous to humans in Futurama. Let's just got Elzar, who's a famous celebrity chef Neptunian. You've got the subjugated elves of Robot Santa's toy shop. They just kind of, they're a species not too far afield from humanity to me.
And with that in mind, they're indeed.
I mean, who knows what happens in the next 1,000 years? You know what I mean? But maybe the Neptunians got it all right.
Maybe. I mean, I like Elzar. If this is again sort of in the same thing as Morbo species, we were basing it on one character, I would say Elzar is an easy A. I don't like the elfish Neptunians as much, so I'm thinking a B. I'm thinking a B for that.
I think that's probably fair. I don't think there's any other Neptunians that really stick in my memory necessarily, so I think B is probably fair.
And also B is the first letter in BAM, which is very fitting for our good friend Elzar.
Are Spice Weasels in this tier list?
I wish. I actually had to make the bold decision to avoid some of the non-sentient aliens from Futurama purely because this list would go on for about 4 hours. And
we've never really learned about the Spice Weasels, have they? Are they like a Neptunian creature? I'd like to see some of that.
I'd like a whole spin-off about the Spice Weasel. Another notable omission from this list is the Bugalo, which is a very, very high-rated alien in my book, just because they're pretty cute. But instead, we are going to talk about their Wranglers, which is the native Martians. Their picture is on the screen now. These are ones which I do enjoy a lot. I obviously, they're a pastiche on Native Americans. Some would say maybe even a little bit problematic in today's day and age. But we move. I like them though. I think they've got a good dry sense of humor. Help me from drowning here, Dobby, please.
From my memories of the native Martians, they don't stand out too much. The Bugalo episode is the main one, and then, I'm sure they've appeared a couple other times, but they feel kind of very B to me, I think.
Yeah, I would say below Elzar and the Neptunians. You'll see if they actually do anything with them in the new series, but I don't mind a good Neptunian episode. Now, the next one is going to be contentious because we're going to talk about the neutral planet. Who are right there in the middle. Now, if I was going to judge this on my heart, these would be an immediate S tier. However, I think that it would only be right for them to go in the middle of B and honor their neutralness.
I don't feel strongly one way or the other.
Exquisite. I mean, they are. Do they only ever appear in that one episode? Because I don't remember them anywhere else. But they are arguably my most quoted Futurama species of anything on any episode ever. Just the line, "All I know is my gut says maybe," is just I probably say it on a daily, if not like bi-daily basis. Same with tell if I don't survive, tell my wife hello. Just absolutely brilliant, absolutely brilliant. And my favorite thing is, have you seen the video on YouTube of the neutral species?
No.
It is, of all the things on planet Earth that give me faith for the species of Earth, the human race, it is this one video. Because back when, up until the dislikes on YouTube were hidden, it had an absolutely perfect like to dislike ratio, and we're talking like 100,000 likes to dislikes. And yet, with all of these, millions of viewers, hundreds of thousands of people interacting with it, they still managed to maintain the perfect ratio of likes to dislikes to make it completely neutral. And it genuinely warmed my heart how much people could cooperate in that way. It is honestly life-affirmingly great. If I can remember, I'll put a link to it in the description, because boy howdy, it's a shame that you can't see the dislikes anymore, because it is very, very special.
Yeah, I mean, to echo that, they'd easily be S for me. But if we were coming into a tier list and doing anything but putting them slap bang in the middle, we'd be dishonoring the neutral planet.
Oh yeah, and hey, maybe for fun, if more than 4 people watch this, try and keep the likes to dislikes even. I know you can't see them, but we'll let you know. Anyways, let's move on to the Niblonians. Now we're talking about a highly rated species, because Nibbler alone is pretty cool, whether he be a in disguise little adorable pet or an absolute god tier alien who has the intelligence of better intelligence than almost anything in the universe. The Niblonians are great. They're adorable, they're smart, they're on the right side of history, they know they fight for good, and they also do the heaviest poos in the galaxy as far as we know. So I would argue S.
I think Nibbler, obviously the standout character. I don't know if there's necessarily any other Niblonians who really do fully keep coming back. But I mean, the Niblonians, along with another bunch we're about to talk about soon, the Omicronians, are probably the most featured ongoing species other than humanity, obviously. And I think predominantly most of their episodes are really good. So I think we're looking at an S tier easy here.
I would agree. If it wasn't for them, we wouldn't have Futurama, because they obviously, Nibbler's one who put Fry in the cryogenic chamber. So for that alone, S tier. And now we're going to go for probably quite a quick one, because we don't really know much about them. It's the Osiris. What is it? The Osiris something or other. Hold the line. I've got the list here.
The Osirians?
Osirians. Okay. The rulers of the planet Osiris 4. They're basically space Egyptians, and they're not very nice. The only thing I really sticks out as a golden moment for these is when Bender is enjoying being a slave, and he says that rather than going to the count of 3 before the whips, why don't they go to a 2 or 1.5? To which the Osirian says, "Great idea, slave. 1/2 pull, 1/2 pull." It's very, very good. But I don't know enough about these to give them anything other than a D. They're kind of forgettable. So yeah.
Yeah, I think I would agree. Again, part of me thought maybe that's a bit harsh, but I think you are right. There is only one proper episode in which they play a part, and even then, Bender plays the biggest part in that, and they are his extras, as it were.
Yeah.
The Elton John one's fun.
Oh yeah, forgot about that. Still D. Let's go. Okay, so now we move on to another heavy hitter, which is the Omicronians. Oh, what do you say about these? These are just the best. They're just the best in terms of like a perpetual villain in the sense that they're always trying to destroy Earth. They're just brilliant. They have a fondness for single female lawyers. They have names like Gur and Lur, which again, brilliant.
And under.
They enjoy eating humans as much as we enjoy eating their children. Their children are just delicious, apparently. What are they called? Poplars? That's it. Yeah, that's how the song goes. Yeah, What have you got to say about the Omicronians? Sorry.
Easy S tier. I mean, lots of great episodes under their belt. I think I can't necessarily remember any episodes that focus on the Omicronians that I don't care for. There's one in one of the later series with Lur's son that I always get to and think, I could do without this really. But I mean, they're an easy S tier. I mean, they're on the same level as Niblonians, except they're more antagonistic, really.
And for that reason, I put them above the Niblonians.
I think I would probably agree.
Cool. They are currently leading the charge. But yeah, anytime there's a Lure episode, I am just on board. He's just funny. He's just brilliant. I one of the most underrated moments is when they're addressing Earth over video call and you can hear his microphone in the background and he's like, turn down the TV. Dun, dun. It's just so good. Oh, now we go back to another species which I know very little about, the parameciums, who are basically
I don't even recognize this picture.
They are effectively single-cell organisms that apparently, according to the Infosphere, which is the Futurama wiki and the place where we've got most of this information, a race apparently wants to destroy humanity, although they haven't yet succeeded. The paramecia are basically giant germs and should be repulsive. However, they are considered so attractive that a paramecium actually won Miss Universe.
She's one of those, was she? Okay.
Yeah. I know very little about these other than that. But
have we seen them in anything other than her winning Miss Universe?
I don't know, but that achievement alone, I think we get to give it a C rather than a D. Why not?
I mean, I'd be more inclined to go D, I think. Because I can't. Other than that, I don't remember anything about them, and I can at least remember the Osirians or Osirians and the Grunka Lunkas. I might even put them at the bottom, to be honest.
Clearly, you don't subscribe to pretty privilege, which I respect. So I will agree with you. Yeah, I can't really remember much about them other than that, but cool creature design, so we'll give them that. Now we go to a species which I believe is only really featured in one main episode, but is actually very entertaining, and that is the slurm worms. These are the harsh rulers of the Grunka Lunkas who either endorse, make, or just control the supply line of Slurm, the popular soft drink. There is a few key characters. You've got is it Slurm Mackenzie?
Slurm's Mackenzie.
Slurm's Mackenzie. So you've got Glurmo. You've got the Slurm Queen. So there's a few big hitters here. I'm a big fan of Slurm's Mackenzie. He does the noble sacrifice in his episode. He's very, very tired. He's got very bloodshot eyes, which is a weird image that's ingrained in my brain. They're cool baddies. They're cool baddies, and I like slugs. So I think they're maybe, I might even go as high as A. I like the slurms.
So they're really great. I'm sure there's a few of them who just make appearances in other episodes. I like the pervading one is the Slurm Factory episode, which is maybe one of my favorites, to be fair. I think if I could remember more of them, I think if there was more of them that stood out, I would remember it.
I mean, unless it was just that one episode they got featured. You'll let us know in the comments below. But based on that one episode, where are you thinking on the board?
I am willing to. I mean, when we were talking about the Omicronians, the Poplars episode, another of my favorites, and that was going to be an S tier based on that. So I think I'm willing to go for an A just on the Slurm Factory.
Exquisite.
Even though, by the same logic, the Grunka Lunkas have earned themselves a D.
No, they are at the bottom forever. That is where they belong. That is where they will remain. Okie dokie. Let me just pull up the list of where we're going next. That's the non-sentient ones. I've gone down too far. Here we go. The Amphibiosans, which is Kip crocus species, along with a few others that we see. Oh, this is another one where it's difficult because I absolutely love Kip, but I can't remember much about the other members of his species other than that elder lady who helps him give birth.
Well, I really like Kip, obviously, and I mean the older lady is I'll still be here, but you won't have to talk to me anymore, or whatever it is. She's really funny. Are there others we meet officially? I'm sure there are.
There probably are. But I just love.
Oh, Kip's parents have like ascended into being swarms of insects, haven't they?
Oh yeah, though that's the thing. I absolutely love the biology of Kip's species. Just the weird life cycle, the fact that he hasn't got bones but is fluid filled bladders, which he constantly reminds people about. He seems like a very nice guy. He has managed to pull Amy, so he's done well for himself there. I think A. I think a solid A.
I think I'm willing to go with A. And I mean, we've seen him give birth, and apparently in the upcoming new series, we get to see those kids 20 years on, which I'm excited about.
Wow. I didn't even know that. Yeah, I'm excited for that as well. That's pretty cool. Now to a species which isn't very cool because it almost kills Fry. That is the space bee. And it almost kills Leader as well, actually, to be fair. These are a species of giant aliens who produce the space honey and royal jelly, which apparently needs to they need to get for something. I can't remember why the Planet Express crew need it, but basically they killed the original Planet Express crew and almost killed the current one. There's not much more to them than the fact they're giant bees, as far as I know, which is kind of boring. Although I love bees.
It's nice to see Bender talking to them by dancing, but
that's pretty cool. But again,
that's a Bender moment.
Yeah, much like the Osirians. That's Bender carrying the heavy weight. I love bees, but I don't know whether or not I love space bees.
I'm willing to go for C purely because I just like the way they're drawn.
Yeah, they're a nice looking bee, and also we should respect the bees because they're dying out in on Earth, and if we don't do something, there's no more honey. And if there's no more honey, what are you going to put on your food?
On your nut Cheerios.
There you go. Think about that. Well, here's something we can all agree on. Balls. We love balls. And we're going to talk about spheroids, which is a big species of sentient balls that love bouncing. And their entire purpose in Futurama is to be one giant double entendre. And it's brilliant. One of my favorite lines is Henry Kissinger saying as they try to call peace between the humans and the spheroids, please, we've already seen too many body bags and ball sacks. So stupid, so childish, but so funny. So funny. I love the spheroids. I love the fact that they can't stop talking about bouncing in their peace talks. That's all they seem to know is just bouncing.
I feel an incredible kinship with the spheroids because I too love to bounce. And I am very willing to put them in S tier. Because
I agree with you.
I think it has to happen, doesn't it?
Oh, no. Why are the balls in S tier? They're above the Amazonians, the Neptunians. Oh, wow. We're talking about a one episode wonder. They absolutely stole the show. Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah, spheroids. We love balls. Moving on to something I don't like, spiders, the Spiderians, which I believe are only used in a tapestry. A news report and a tapestry to chronicle one of Zap's biggest battlefield.
Yeah, it's that Silk, isn't it?
Yeah. And they basically wiped him out in like a bloody sort of coup, well, not a coup, but it sounds like they were the ones on the defensive and the Earthlings were the ones who were the aggressors. But I don't like spiders. I like bees, and therefore I would like to put the Spiderians in D. I
don't have much of an issue with spiders, but they don't do anything in the episode, so it's an easy D, really.
An easy D, go away. And now for a species which I can't remember. We're getting through all the animal species pretty quickly because the Thubanians, Thubenians, which are the cat species, I don't remember these. Where are these from?
So this is an episode in which the cat species using, I can't remember if it's just because they're cute or if it is entirely mind control power. They take over the Earth, and it comes down to, I can't remember who it comes down to save everything. But surely it's one of the Planet Express crew who they have not had any effect on. Might be Nibbler. I think Nibbler might come into it with like Fry or something. It's an interesting episode. I quite like it as an episode. And one of the probably standouts of its season, I would say, but I don't remember a lot about it.
I was going to say, I remember almost nothing about
Truth
this.
be told, I mean, I've seen the first 4 seasons in the movies loads, and then it comes to like season 6 through 9, and I've seen them 3 times maybe through, and I enjoyed them, but they don't stick in my head quite as much.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Well, I'm going to kind of let you do the heavy lifting on this one because I don't remember this at all. Where would you put the Thubanians?
For what they are, and they're conniving, they're scheming, and their plan basically works until something silly goes awry. I think I'd put them in B tier.
Interesting. Okay. Well, below Elzar, the neutral people, the native Martians.
I think so.
Okay. I'll dig it. Now we go for a very early episode with the Trisolians, which is the water people, where Fry accidentally becomes their king because he drinks the current king, and then they have to get Fry to cry him out so that someone doesn't kill Fry. I hope that makes sense. This is a species which I remember that episode a lot, but I don't feel like I have much strong feelings either way in terms of the actual species.
So because we see this species crop up a lot. These are often, if there's an alien in the background, it'll be one of these. And there's the stand-up comedy one, the comedian one who appears in a later episode and is like doing is it a later episode or no, it's the same episode in fact, isn't it? Who's doing the whole people from this sun walk like this and all that's real. I'm sure there's a prominent one who appears in another episode, and I'm blanking on what it is. I know they appear a few times, and this is a species I do really like. I think it's quite fun. The whole they are just water. You can drink them.
I like the character design and the species design. They genuinely feel like something that from like a 1950s pulp sci-fi, which is kind of the whole thing that Futurama exists off of. So with that in mind, yeah, I do enjoy them. I can't think of a specific instance that makes me laugh out loud, but I'd be comfortable giving them maybe like a B.
Yeah, like maybe between Elzar and the neutral planet, I'd say.
That works because it keeps the neutrals right in the middle.
So that was my concern.
Panic over. Cool. Now let's go on to a later episode with the Venetians, which come from the planet Vinci, and basically a hyper intelligent version of humanity where Leonardo da Vinci is their dumbest member. And so in that sense, he is like the Fry of his planet, and although he's very intelligent on Earth, he's a bit of a dummy on planet Vinci. I like it. I don't think I have strong opinions, but it's very inoffensive.
I don't love this episode of that season, of that first season in the second era of Futurama, or third era, I guess, if you like. It's an episode that stands out to me as one I don't care for very much. So I mean, they'd be a D for me. I mean, I don't like Venice either. I think Venice is a shit city. So
it's Vinci. It's not Venice.
I know, but they're Venetians.
Damn it! I've never been to Venice. I can't speak for it, but
it's boring and wet.
I know you are, but what am I? But anyway, all right, I'll agree with you, but I'm going to put in middle of D because
that's fine.
I can. And that's what I will do. Cool. And now we move on to the stringy people known as the Yarn people, who they come from the planet Nylar 4. They were accused of trying to assassinate the ambassadors of Leela was accused of trying to assassinate a member of Nylar 4 with a pair of scissors by Zap Brannigan at the reception. I think that is their only
Yep.
But the fact that they can get killed by scissors is pretty funny. Yep. As I said that aloud, I realized that any one of us could be killed by scissors.
That's pretty funny.
Not quite as easily. Not quite as easily as the Yarn people. They're stupid. I love it. A tier.
No, 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 no. No, it's really funny. I'd be willing to go as high as C because they're better than the Grunka Lunkas or the spiders or whatever. But
All right.
they've certainly they're no spheroids. You know what I mean?
Shut up. Shut up, you twerp. Oh, we love the spheroids here, really. Now for another species that I know very little about, which is the Borax people, who looks like a southern gentleman. The Borax people are an unknown race with only one known member, the Borax Kid.
Yeah, the Borax Kid, who does appear twice. He appears in 2 different episodes.
Really?
I believe so. And I'm pretty sure in one of them he kind of appears as, you know, a Deus Ex Machina. I can't remember how it works in the other one. He might just be playing poker or something in my head, but he's a kind of fun character, but we don't know very much about the Borax people to be able to rate them as a species, I would say.
Maybe bottom of the sea then?
Yeah, sure.
Why not?
I'd put them above the yarn people.
Shut up. They're in. Oh, fine. I'll move the yarn people down.
Where did you put them?
I put them above the space bees.
No.
Oh, all right. All right. They get this one pass. Okay, now we're getting into some serious stuff because we're talking about the brain spawn. And I love the brain spawn. They are so good. These big floating brains that just cause all sorts of mayhem. They make their own Death Star. They have the big brain, which I can't remember what it's called, but it knows everything. And when Fry asks it what really kills the dinosaurs, it just menacingly shouts, "Me!" And then we see a video of him zapping all the dinosaurs. Yeah, I love them. I love them so much.
They're very good. Headcanon, they're related to the spheroids.
They're from the other side of the planet.
Yeah, these guys. Yeah, they're definitely S tier, I think.
Oh yeah,
I mean, what they certainly appear in 2 episodes. They must appear in more than that. The first 2 episodes they appear in, they're fucking great.
Oh yeah, the one where they have to hide in the literary fiction and to escape it is just brilliant. The way he makes everyone dumb. The when Fry accidentally makes one of them dumb and he says, "The big brain am winning again. I am the greatest." Very good. I'm going to put them below the spheroids because I prefer testicles, but there we go.
Yeah, I've always known that about you.
Yep. Okay. Now we are moving on to the brain slugs, I believe they are called.
Yeah.
Yes, they are. I got it right. These are pretty cool. I love a good parasite. They are gelatinous parasites from the brain slug planet, very original. And then, they make Hermes into a gormless slave. Pretty good.
They've almost become a sort of mascot of Futurama in many ways. I feel like you see brain slugs in reference to Futurama quite a lot. Certainly in regards to Hermes, who, you know, any like the video game or, you know, any posters or something you may find of the show will typically have Hermes with the brain slug on. I like the idea of them. I'm not sure we've ever had a full episode devoted to them, have we?
No, they've kind of just been like this lingering thing that just sort of pops up every now and then. But I like how simple their character design is. It does, as you say, it feels quintessentially Futurama, which is fun. They're almost on par. Well, no, that's an absolute lie. But they kind of give off similar vibes to the Hypnotoad, but more you know, one-on-one rather than like mass hypnosis. I'd give them an A. I like a good mascot.
I'm willing for that. Yeah.
Alrighty then. There you go, Hermes. Your brain slugs in A. Now another one that is always popping up, which is the blobs. The blobs are great. I love the blobs. They have no organs. All they do is they act grumpy and they eat things. And then they just, whatever they eat just sits in their tummy through their translucent form, and it's pretty good. Again, when I think of Futurama, the blobs is one of the first species that I think of.
It's interesting because it never occurred to me that their species was called the blobs. I just assumed the horribly gelatinous blob was, you know, his own name, and I guess it's actually he's just the blob who is horribly gelatinous.
Yeah,
I guess we don't really know any other. No, is there one we know the name of who bullies like Cubert?
Yeah, there's like a kid
and
one, isn't
Dwight.
there?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I can't remember what his name is. I mean, I like them. They've got a fun design, and I mean, I like them. They've got a fun design, and whenever he grabs someone and eats them, it's always fun to imagine the aftermath, I think.
Here is quite. Here is a couple of interesting facts about the blobs. They appear on the $20 note in Bender's Big Score, and they bear a striking resemblance to the space mutants from The Simpsons. So it could be that they are somewhat related, but just have a different name. So it makes you think. It makes you think. I would say A. I think if we're going to give the space,
Yep,
the brain slugs, I think the blobs deserve an A. I might even put them above the brain slugs because there's more to them.
I concur.
There they go. Cool. Now we got the cygnoids, which is another species. I couldn't remember what the name was, but apparently that's what they're called. They kind of look like big cockroaches,
Yeah,
but they're also like meant to be kind of like Italian American, which I feel like is kind of racist.
it's certainly a strange stereotype. I mean, they sleep in the pizza ovens, and they do make the pizzas.
Yeah, but they also make terrible pizzas apparently. So
Hey, so do Italians. Am I right?
oh, whoa, whoa.
I
That's a
don't like
soundbite.
pizza at the best of times, to be
You
honest.
are a strange
You're a
man.
strange little man. You have my pity.
What is that from again?
That's Toy Story.
That
Sad,
is,
strange
yes.
little man.
Not liking pizza. That's a weird.
Well,
thing.
I don't really like the episode the Cygnoids are in. It's the baseball one.
Yeah.
The Blurns ball?
Let's go with that.
It's something ball. I don't like that episode very much. They're sort of a horrible caricature. They're cockroaches. Yeah. I don't think too highly of them as characters.
I'd give them bottom of C because they do actually have like a lot to do.
Yeah.
So I don't think they can be as low as some of these other bit parts. But yeah, I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan. And now we're really in the tail end now, the cyclopods, which is a big old manta ray that has all of, the universe's DNA, like genetic history in it so that it can repopulate things. It's basically a big flying space god, but doesn't do much else other than that.
Is he in the Wild Green Yonder? What's he in?
Yeah, he's the one right at the end, just before
they
restart the new series. He was in the last one of the
movies. I mean, interesting, nice design, I guess, but it doesn't do very much. It's just there.
Yeah, I'm just looking at their wiki to see if there's anything interesting to say, but there's really not a lot. But I would still put them above, the Parameciums and the Spiderians, but probably still D tier.
I'd put them above the Venetians too.
Fair enough. I don't care strong enough to argue, so there we go. And now finally we have the Decapodians, which is Zoidberg species, and boy howdy do I love Zoidberg. Zoidberg is great. I love Zoidberg the character. I love his species. They're weird. They have weird mating rituals which are fun, where they get a big old dorsal fin. They scuttle, which is always nice to see. I love them.
We see quite a lot of Decapodians. There's Zoidberg. Obviously, we go to his planet and we meet the one he wants to bang, that wants to bang Fry, and etc.
Oh yeah.
We see there's the ones at the Decapodian embassy on Earth in that episode. They're another one of the staple species of Futurama, so to speak. Do they quite hit S for me? I'm not sure.
Oh, I would say they do, and for one fact and one fact alone is that when they mate, they die, and so for that fact, I think they need it as a pity thing, because that's a tough break. That's a tough break.
I'm willing purely for symmetry of what's going on the screen.
Very very good, very good. Let's whack them there. Cool. Okay. That is it. Let's read the rundown so far and see if there's anything that we would change. So we'll start at the bottom. We've got the Spiderians. I'm not moving them from the bottom. I think they suck. The Parameciums, meh. The Venetians, the Encyclopods. I think that was what they were. I'm not reading it anymore, so I'm kind of just freeballing. The Osarians and the Grunka Lunkas make up our D tier. Then we've got the cockroach people, which I can't remember the name again, the borax people, the yarn people, the space bees, and morbo species in C. B, we've got them evil cats. the native Martians, the neutral people who are perfectly positioned, the water people, and the Neptunians in B. A tier, we've got the brain slugs, the blobs, the slurm snail wormy thingies, Kif species, and the Amazonians. And then in S tier, we've got the decapods, the big brains, the bowls, nibbler species, and the Omicronians are right at the top. I think that's looking pretty good to me.
Pretty bang on. Maybe we could just bounce the spheroids up a couple spaces, but
you and your bouncing. If I hear bouncing one more time, I'm gonna bite. Oh dear, very good, very good. Well, there we have it. That is our definitive ranking of all of the species from Futurama up until this point. So, what do you think? Do you agree? Do you disagree? Do you want to? I'm glad you agree. Do you want to sound off in the comments about how wrong we are? Then please do. I like a challenge. We hope you enjoy the new series of Futurama. We're definitely going to be checking it out. Hey, you never know. We might even review it. Who knows?
You're going to say be in it.
We might be in it.
I wish, but
there's actually just going to be an upside down shark in the new species, the new series. And yeah, let's all enjoy the fact that it's around and back again for the third time. You just can't kill this series. And yeah, let's all have good fun watching that. Do all the likey, share, subscribe stuff. It's too hot for me to push that stuff too hard. And yeah, that's it. Bye.